Welcome back to DC Junction. I'm Mike.
And this is Matthew.
I had a really big yawn hit right before and I was hoping it would go, and then it
plow
anyway.
through.
Yeah. Anyway, how's it going, guys? We're doing a whole bunch of different stuff today. We got a whole mess of news to get through. We got a fun topic of discussion to get to later. Maybe if we have time, we'll see. But either way, we are here to just bathe in all the DC goodness that is just everything. Real quick, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Look at that, I got it on the first go. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also follow us on all social media. That's right above Matt's head, so make sure you check that out. All right, let's get into well, first, we haven't done a check-in in a bit. Matt, how you doing?
Man, it's been going. Like, it's kind of one of those weird things of like, hey, cool, this is great. And then it's like a seesaw. I thought it would be like a rising plank, but it just, it's this.
What he's talking about is like, man, no one's watching our Peacemaker reactions.
That too.
Yeah, you guys are talking to us when you are watching them, but I'm with you. Yeah, it's like we went through like this big high rise of like, and now we're kind of in like, Peacemaker's coming out, but like we're in like, cool, we're gonna be we're in a little bit of coming towards the lull, and then summer's over, so it's yeah, man, it'll
be fun.
It'll be fun. Let's get into the main stuff. So first and foremost, speaking of Superman, I mean, it is projected to profit about $125 million when everything is said and done from its total theatrical run, which cool. Dope.
Look, every year people argue about what makes a movie profitable, what doesn't.
People are still clinging on to. I'm not name dropping him to be a dick. It's just, but people are clinging on to something John Campea said 12 years ago.
Yes.
On an episode of AMC Movie Talk or Collider Movie Talk, whichever one it was, about movies being profitable. And people have clung to that quote like it's a doctor checking your balls. Like they will not let go of it. It's like, guys, industry economies shift. COVID changed everything, right? Streaming changed everything, right? The MCU changed everything, right? So I need to, by the way, I need to also change our graphic. That's the right one. But yeah, it's I wanted to bring it up just to be like, hey guys, look, it's still making money. So we're
look, again, I'll say it in case nobody was here when I said it before. The CEO of Warner Brothers has never come out and said we're happy about all these things. Ever.
Not just that.
Ever.
This is the guy that was willing to cancel a two completed movies for the tax write-off.
Yeah.
Okay. Like and he came out and said, so this is a money grubbing businessman who was like, I'm happy. It's good. It's fine. We can let it go. So keeping on from that, talking more good news, the Penguin got 8 wins at the Creative Emmys the other day. I'm not going to go over all of them. I mean, it was, prosthetics, makeup, the things you expect, costumes. The Primetime Emmys are this weekend. So we will, obviously when the Penguin inevitably wins for the ones it's nominated for, we will talk about it on next week's show. But yeah, so props to the Emmys, to the Penguin at the Emmys.
Yeah, to no surprise, it was nominated for all the things.
Yeah, and won them. Shocker. Next, that's kind of the quick stuff. Getting into some of the more meaty stuff here. This one we can kind of gloss over a little bit because it's going to lead into some other things. But so James Gunn was on Howard Stern earlier today, one or the other. We're recording this Wednesday night. Time has no meaning anymore because it's released on Friday. Who cares? But he just talked a little bit, touched on a little the DCU and things in general. And the main things we took away from that were he just talked a little bit more about Man of Tomorrow is going to be, he said he said a couple different things about it's the follow-up to Superman, but he said it's not Superman 2 because Man of Tomorrow very much is both Lex's story and Superman's story. It's not fair to call it Superman 2 because it's really about the two of them coming together for a bigger threat. What that bigger threat is, we don't know yet. It depends on how closely they go to the Man of Tomorrow comic story. Could be Brainiac. Could be Bizarro. Who's to say? Could be anything. And then he also talked a little bit more about, like, you know, Clayface is, you know, being in production, being in the hard R and all that. He said he feels like his casting of Millie Alcock as Supergirl is, like, to him, that's like peak casting. Like, he's like one of the things he'll be most proud of. And I know you're not, and again, you're not a House of the Dragon fan, but as somebody who is, I have said time and time again, yes, correct. That is a correct assumption to have. And then he also there was a funny moment where he and Howard Stern joked about the relatability of Lex Luthor in the DCU, and that, you know, this is a guy who prior to 3 years ago, you know, even with all the other metahumans in the world, 3 years ago, Lex Luthor was the guy. And then this asshole shows up in shorts with his dumb smile and his dumbness, and nobody gives a flying crap about Lex Luthor. You don't sympathize with him, but you get him. You know what I mean? It was a good, cool conversation.
Cool.
Any of that stick out to you?
I mean, I think the Man of Tomorrow thing, I know everybody keeps going back and forth on this. Look, we all cried and got upset because Man of Steel didn't get a Man of Steel 2.
Yeah.
Look, whether it's a Superman sequel or not, it is not a second movie about Superman that brings in a random character that is not part of the first movie.
Yeah.
Let's be happy, guys. If the first film is any telling,
after whatever,
we'll get a Man of Tomorrow. We may get a Superman 2. We may go into Justice League. We may go into World's Finest. What is it like? Look, the guy has served us some excellent appetizers.
Yeah.
Let's let the next course come in. Like,
let him cook.
Yeah, let him cook, man. You know, we're 2 courses in, and there's 18 courses left. Like, let's just go. Let's have fun with it. Let's just.
Is it coming too fast? No, not really. He did address that too. He mentioned in the interview. He was like, it seems fast, but he's like, we knew what we had going into it. It's only seems fast if you think I started writing it last week. You know, he's like, I didn't start writing this movie after Superman came out. Like, that's not. Again, it's an eternal testament to people who are clinging on to basic information they grasped from. And again, this is not a shot, but, you know, from Movie Talk back in the day, because Movie Talk was a lot of every man's first, like, entry levels into, like, how the film industry works, rightfully so. But people are holding on to a lot of old information and ways of doing things, and it's a different world now.
Well, and again, if he has a plan and he had even the outline, like if he was halfway through, this is everything. Like, I don't know how many people write. I don't know how you write, but if I've got an outline and then
Slowly.
It's like time to write it, it just goes. Like, you already know what the thing is.
Yeah.
So if he had everything ready before Superman's even done filming or in post-production, it could be like he's editing going like, I think the second movie should be this. It's very easy. Then, wow, this movie's profitable. Someone goes, do you have the next one? He's like, bro, I'm 30%. I'm 45, 50, 60% of the way done. Let's do it.
And he's the guy in charge of the studio. So like, if anyone's like beholden to anyone, it's to himself, because it's his own reputation on the line in so many different ways, you know?
And who knows? He could have had it written before
the movie
was done.
You have said this numerous times, which is, you know, the fact that Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers weren't locked in with a Man of Steel 2 just in case. The fact they didn't have that in their back pocket ready to go was their first mistake. You should have already had that. And if BVS was that, that's a bigger conversation for another time.
David Goyer has gone on the record saying that that after Man of Steel was a success, they went into a meeting and like, what do we do now? And he was like, I'm a Batman. And was like, ah.
Yeah. That's it showed.
That was
I think it makes me feel good in a way that it gives me faith of like they're planning ahead, they're working ahead. Is it a rush? That's the thing that cracks me is people say that's so long, but okay, because it's 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. But if any time a movie takes longer than that, everyone bitches that they're going to take too long. What do you want? It's guys. Yeah, it's you can have one or the other. It's people want the movies right now, but not right now.
Yeah. Right now, not right now.
You like me, but do you like me? Yeah, shut the hell up. All right. So DC did announce their DC Comics announced, I want to be clear, announced what they're going to be doing at New York Comic Con here in October. This does not include film and TV. This is just Jim Lee's side of things. And it's going to include a Vertigo We're Back panel on the first night on Thursday, which is cool because they bring in Vertigo back. They brought Vertigo back and have been going good with that. They're also going to be having a Gotham City sort of like immersive experience. They did something similar with the Penguin, with like the Iceberg Lounge last year. Jim Lee and friends are going to be doing a panel as well. There's also going to be doing a big preview for this DCKO event going on in comics. We haven't covered this at all. It hasn't started yet, but they've been previewing. There's been like lots of previews for it in like the absolutes and stuff we've been reading as part of their big all-in thing. We might consider looking into this if the buzz is strong. We started covering Absolute DC because Absolute Batman #1 became the highest selling comic of the year overnight, so we'll see how the DCKO stuff does. If it does really well, we might loop that in with the Absolute stuff, which, look out for that at the end of September. We'll get caught up on that, but, and then also there's going to be a Bat Fam sneak peek on October 11th. I don't know a whole lot about what that is. I imagine it's just some of the Bat Fam titles that are coming up. I know there's going to be also some exclusives like foil variants of like the new Batman #1 from Jorge Jimenez and Matt Fraction, and Absolute Evil #1. Also, we know that's coming. That's the Absolute Evil crossover that's coming. We know some stuff coming up with that. But yeah, it's nothing on the film side yet as far as October's New York Comic Con goes. This is kind of got to set up a little bit of our main topic here before we get to it for real. But you got to figure Lanterns is wrapped filming, and Supergirl wraps filming in May, and Peacemaker, at the time we're recording this Wednesday night, so by the time this drops, we're 4 episodes into Peacemaker. Reaction dropping later this weekend or on Monday, we'll see. We got, and we are very much playing in an interconnected multiverse now. Peacemaker and Rick Flag are the first 2 characters to kind of do any amount of real crossing over between them, with Peacemaker's cameo in Superman and Rick Flag showing up in all 3 properties. There have been rumors that we had the whole Rick Flag Jr. Suicide Squad tie-in. We haven't seen episode 4 at the time we're recording this, so we don't know what's happening in there. Rumors of Lex Luthor showing up this season, coming from online. Potentially GI Robot. It would kind of make sense depending on what's going on in that other universe. Kind of makes you wonder, like, all right, so Lanterns, Supergirl, we gonna start seeing something soon?
Yeah. Like I think we talked about this a little bit on the phone, but I'm thinking, because Superman, they didn't do anything the previous year at any of the cons.
We were wrong so many times about when we thought that trailer was coming.
So I'm thinking we'll get Lanterns trailer at the con, and then I think, even though they didn't do Superman at the Super Bowl, I think they'll do Supergirl at the Super Bowl. That's what I think is going to happen.
I'm going to be honest. I think they're still going to keep, and I'm going to disagree a little bit. I think they're going to continue to hold off on Super Bowl trailers because I think those Super Bowl trailers just keep getting more and more expensive. And when you look at last year's Super Bowl, like, people weren't shelling out.
Yeah.
Like, there weren't as many
movies,
brands, well, just brands in general represented because people were just like, that's so much money for such a short ad. And Warner Brothers is still not out of the woods yet. There's still rumors of another corporate shakeup going on over there. So who the hell knows? So DC doesn't have a ton of their own money to play with yet, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know about a Super Bowl trailer.
Yeah.
I could see a New Year's trailer happening.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to my guns. I think Supergirl is at Super Bowl. I mean, it ties easily together.
I mean, it does. You're not, but it also tied together last time too.
Yeah. But I think honestly, and we talked about this a while back, is like, I think Gunn was just purposely distancing himself from the previous version. So I think it was like, nothing of mine is coming out for a year. No trailers, no shows. Because you can't tell me Creature Commandos wasn't in the can by the end of last year. Like, you could have dropped that. And I think it's in my personal opinion, I think it's a conscious decision to go, let's just clean everything. Let's wait a year. Then my stuff can begin to just solidify that gap between the two things. Mm-hmm. But who knows? But yeah, I think that's my call. I call in Lantern's trailer first look at Lobo, but the trailer for Supergirl not till Super Bowl.
I'm just saying, the way you absolutely bring down the house at New York Comic-Con is because, look, Jason Momoa just hosted the Black Sabbath farewell concert not too long ago. Okay.
Yeah.
There is, I have memories back to Tom Hiddleston dressed as Loki, walking into Hall H, shouting Neil, and they preview the Avengers. I don't know. To me, there's no better way to really just plant the flag, especially when you got to figure they're going to be competing against Doomsday a little bit. Than having Jason Momoa walk out on stage in full Lobo getup.
Yeah.
And saying,
frag you bastaches.
Yeah, whatever. Calling himself the main man, riding out on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Please, dear God. And rolling a first sneak peek at Supergirl. You know what I mean? Because with Superman, there was a need to play it safe. Because
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys like that? Okay. You guys like that? Okay. We're in, James. We're in. And Supergirl is all about edge and intensity. I mean, this is not the beacon of hope and light and joy that is David Corn Sweat's Superman. This is chaos incarnate. This is the this is the person that raised crypto.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So I don't know, man.
I mean, what you're pitching is perfection.
Well,
whether they do it, we'll see.
Especially when you consider the rumor is there's currently a rumor that Supergirl a release date might get moved up.
I mean,
so the reason I say this is because apparently there was a release date that was it was locked in by DC Studios, or by Warner Brothers rather, for May of next year. But it hasn't been confirmed what that is. And then with some other stuff coming out and a lot of other stuff getting announced for July of next year, the rumor is that they might bump Supergirl up a month to come out in May. So not for nothing, you can't wait till San Diego Comic-Con, because that'll be too late, if not after. What better way to announce Supergirl's new earlier release date than at New York Comic-Con with a trailer?
I mean, it's possible. Yeah. It's all conjecture. Who knows?
Oh yeah, I'm basing this off of absolutely nothing.
You guys in the comments tell us which one of us is right, which one is wrong, or if you have your own idea about what you think is going to happen.
And while you're on your way down there, hit the subscribe button. It's on the way. It's efficient. Oh God, see, I did it and then I didn't do it. It's efficient. Figure it out. All right. Let's keep going into let's go from this. I think this is enough to take us into our main topic of kind of just the DCU in general, which is like, who is our Justice League gonna be? You know?
Yeah.
Because we've clearly had like a version of the JSA in this DCU based on the mural that's inside the Hall of Justice. We've got the Justice Gang with Maxwell Lord funding this Justice Gang. It stands to reason they might be going for a version of the Justice League International.
Yeah,
based on if it's Maxwell Lord funding it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm going. At least so. Not necessarily saying that's what's to be my lineup, but that does seem to be kind of the general foundation for how a Justice League is going to get formed in this universe.
Yeah.
So where do you think, I mean, assuming we're going to have the Trinity, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, I'm assuming.
We've talked about this a couple times before of like,
yeah, we have. Go ahead.
The Justice League being like the big seven, or as I like to call it, the big six now because of all the different changes that have happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, ultimately, like
big six and sometimes Y.
Yeah. But the whole like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, and Aquaman.
Yeah.
No, not Aquaman.
Yeah,
Aquaman. Seems to be like that's the thing. And I said six because it's like sometimes it's Cyborg, sometimes it's Martian Manhunter, sometimes it's Shazam, like depending on who makes the movie and who does the thing. But like before then, it wasn't always that way. Like Batman was usually always there and Martian Manhunter was always there. But outside of that, the roster changed all the time. And not that some, like Wonder Woman sometimes is there or Superman was sometimes there, but it was never all of them.
It was kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like it was never like, yeah, you'd have Star-Lord and you'd have Nebula and you'd have Groot and you'd have Rocket and you'd have Drax, but never those guys together all at once.
Yeah.
That was for the movie. And then the comics came out. The Justice League was Batman and a bunch of people, Superman, bunch of people, and then eventually they did a version that was all those big heavy hitters.
Seven. And that's
the Avengers did the same thing because it was Wonder Man. It was a bunch of the C-listers.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think what happens is the mid-90s is when JLA happens, and that's the big that big first storyline that you like, which is the seven, and then there's the seven for several issues until they start bringing other characters. Mm-hmm. So that's where like looking at this going like, okay, well, what are they gonna do? Because you kind of have some of the roster, but you're also missing some of the roster. They've announced that that the Wonder Woman script is being written.
Yes.
So at best, 2 years away.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a bit.
Or 4, depending on if it's Matt Reeves writing it.
No, sorry. You're not wrong. No, that's a fair argument. That is fair.
So I think this is where, because James Gunn is so active on social media, I don't know that there's any secrets right now. You know what I mean? I don't know that he may. I mean, granted, at the same time, he could next week come out and go like, "Hey, the Wonder Woman script's going. We're moving forward," and that Wonder Woman movie is somehow going to happen before Man of Tomorrow. It's not likely.
I think that's asking a bit much of the universe, but I get what you're saying. Like
we don't know.
There's plenty of things that they're being talked about behind closed doors we haven't heard about. That's
so
yeah.
Like, but I do kind of feel like I don't know if you do a Justice League movie without Batman and Wonder Woman at this point. I can't imagine you do that.
I feel like you just have to have the Trinity. I feel like in this day and age, if those three aren't in it, you're gonna have a harder sell. I really do.
I mean,
I think anyone else you have in there isn't gonna matter. I genuinely don't. I think as long as you have those three, have based on whatever else you've done
yeah.
in the DCU, like if this Justice League includes Metamorpho, I don't think two people will be mad about that because people liked Metamorpho in the movie. You know, it's going to depend on the characters we've had introduced to. Again, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Comic book fans didn't go in, and I'm not saying this is somebody who read Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't know jack shit, but but the people who didn't go into that movie with like expectations, or maybe they did one way or another. It was just like, oh, it's just this version of the Guardians. Anyone who's read a comic book knows that the Justice League has been so many different characters. Go ahead. What?
Well, and now that I'm really thinking about it, if you look at it right now, we have 3 Green Lanterns in universe without any of them having a movie.
Yeah.
So it's completely within the realm of possibility that in 2027 we get a Flash show or a Cyborg show or a Martian Manhunter show that brings them into the universe. And then suddenly, like, pardon me, they're ready for the movie in 2028 because we're not necessarily waiting for these guys to be in movies. Oh my gosh, I had a weird tangent. That alien who keeps not saying waving bye, could that be John Jones?
You're not the first person to suggest that. I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason I say no is I feel like they would make John Jones look a little less dumb.
Yeah.
But also, but other than this is also like, I will say all 3 properties, I'm curious about whether or not Martian Manhunter is known in this universe yet. Only because they've name dropped Martians quite a bit. In Creature Commandos, Superman, and in Peacemaker, there have been quite a few Martian jokes. So it's got me wondering, does Martian Manhunter exist in this universe?
Well, did they say who the white, skinny humanoids that were driving the thing in the pocket dimension?
His name is Mr. Handsome, and from what I understand, he's just some thing from the comics that Lex creates. It's not a white Martian.
That's what I was like. I was like, is that a white Martian? That's kind of weird.
White Martians are too big of a thing. And that would be like if they just said, what's the thing piloting the thing? Oh, yeah, that's just an Infinity Stone. It's no big deal. Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah,
like that's too big of a, that would be too big of a of an Easter egg to be throw away like that. No, I was gonna go. I think there's enough. When you bring up the good point with the Green Lantern thing, you know, but they are getting a TV show, not for nothing. So they are going to get introduced. I am curious to see. You bring up the Flash. You know, James Gunn has said they kind of are going to want to, you know, keep Flash on the back burner for a little bit. You know, all things considered, just as a character. I am curious to see, you know, how long that burner is going to be, though.
Well, and so here's my thought. Thinking about this, like this year.
Yeah.
We have 1 movie, 2 shows. But 3 shows. 2 shows, 1 movie. Next year we have 1 movie, 2 shows.
Two movies, 2 movies, 1 show. Supergirl, next year is Supergirl, Clayface, and Lanterns.
Okay. But is there any other shows next year?
No.
We don't know when the Blue Beetle show is coming.
No. As of right now, within the DCU, it's 2 movies and a show.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about Blue Beetle other than Zolo has been recording videos. That it's been. So he said something about it going well on Threads recently.
Well, my point more is in 2027.
Yeah,
you could have a Cyborg show. You could have Man of Tomorrow.
Sure.
You could have like an animated Wonder Woman or an animated Flash.
Right.
Where they're introduced into this world. Because remember, Rick Flag was introduced in a cartoon first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So then now at the end of 2027, besides Batman, you have everybody. So that's what
if you really want to think about it, DCU's Batman was introduced in Creature Commandos to an extent.
Yeah. So I think there's a mindset now of like every one of these characters has to get a movie. That may not be the case, you know. And if you go with the Timverse, Aaron Pierre, John Stewart, Green Lantern, he may be our Green Lantern in the Justice League.
Which ain't nobody going to be mad about John Stewart being your main Green Lantern. Not one bit. Not one bit. Especially if it's Aaron Pierre.
Dude, if he is anywhere near as good as he was in Rebel Ridge, give him his own movie.
Don't even get me started. When they like that is like, I know James Gunn's super proud of his Millie Alcott casting, and he very well should be. But Aaron Pierre as John Stewart, well done.
Well, that's one of those things. I remember when that trailer came out, and I was like, that guy would make a great John Stewart because he looks exactly like the cartoon.
Such a good pick.
And then when he was up for it, you're like, we all know who they're gonna pick.
Well, it's like when Rachel Brosnahan's name was floating around for Lois Lane. I was like, oh well, there you go. You found it. I do think, well, but honestly, we've said Blue Beetle. I think there's a chance Blue Beetle. You know, we need our scrappy young guy to be the plucky comic relief. And if maybe it's not Flash, maybe it's Blue Beetle.
And if you put Blue Beetle, you don't need Cyborg. So maybe we bring Martian Manhunter back.
Yeah.
Who would you want as your seventh? Do you want Shazam, Blue Beetle, Cyborg?
Oh man. See, I'm gonna be honest. So I'm thinking you get your Trinity, you throw in Blue Beetle, Metamorpho, John Stewart Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
That's what I go with.
Well, and you think too, the Timverse did not have Aquaman on the team. They had Hawkgirl on the team. We have a Hawkgirl.
We do have a Hawkgirl. That, you know, that's a good point. And also, I think but honestly, I think instead of Martian Manhunter, we just do Mr. Terrific. Because that's what they did in JLU.
Yeah.
And we pitched that, you know, when we did a whole episode about Mr. Terrific, you know, about just like he can just be kind of our through line to the DCU from the superhero perspective, the way that Rick Flag is to kind of the Argus side of things.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you? What about you? Who else would you like to put on there? Give me some names.
So, Nightwing. No.
I know. Well, I mean,
no. I honestly,
I'm not reading the current run on Justice League, but I know they offered him the spot to lead it. Is he currently leading it? I haven't read.
No, I think he said no. He wanted to stick with the Titan. If memory serves correctly. He was leading the team when it was like an army of people.
Right.
During one of the crossovers, he ended up taking over. No, I think like the thing, honestly, is to get people really mad at me, even though I'm wearing this shirt. I think you leave Batman out of the Justice League. I think there is a version of the Justice League that you do where he
Matt
comes in
Hasso's
later.
social handle is at the Hasso Man. Send all of your angry comments to him directly. Do not come after me. I do not endorse this statement. The statements of Matthew Hasso do not reflect those of DC.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but I like, if you really take a moment and think about it, why would he be on that team?
No, I follow you.
Like, you know, as much as everybody wants to push the Pattinson version of Batman, ain't no way he's on that team. Not at all. That version of Batman would be like, absolutely not. Leave me alone.
Honestly, Pattinson's version of Batman is more in line with the Tomorrowverse version that that dude from Supernatural voiced. You know what I mean?
Jensen Ackles.
It's Jensen Ackles. Like Robert Pattinson's Batman is the kind of Batman I can see being like, why would I take a young child under my wing as my sidekick? That's insane.
Yeah.
No, like, you know what I mean? That's the kind of, you know, the
all
kind
I think about is Christian Bale when, you know, when Alfred's like, maybe you should do polo. I'm not doing polo. I'm not getting a Robin.
That's good.
Ridiculous. What are you talking about?
That's funny. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No. My point more is, I think, take Batman out of it. You don't have to rush him into the universe, and kind of have this Justice League that truly is led by Superman. that you have these group of heroes, like, because in my mind, I think he recruits Hawkgirl from the Justice Gang because he's like, hey, you were one of the two people who really went to help people. We're going to teach you not to kill. Come with us. You get Aaron Pierre's Green Lantern. You get whoever else. Like I said, I think you do a Cyborg show, bring him into the fold. Whoever they get is Flash. You have Wonder Woman. And then, like, I think Aquaman's one of those characters. As much as I didn't like the animated version, I think you do Throne of Atlantis and introduce him in the second Justice League movie. And that the invasion of the land by his people is what makes you bring him about. And, I give him a show ahead of time, but I wouldn't bring him into the Justice League. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be his introduction into the universe. I just don't know if he needs to be in the Justice League. But
my pushback on that is only that that gives me Wakanda Forever feels.
Yeah, but done well.
I know, and I didn't hate that movie as much as most people. I think it's fine, but I also did not like the Throne of Atlantis animated movie.
No, the animated movie,
like at all. So, I also think that considering they are now working Jason Momoa into the DCU as Lobo, similar to the Flash, I could see them wanting to take some time away from Aquaman for a bit. Let's be honest, Aquaman's a hard sell to begin with, no matter who you are. I don't care who's playing him. I don't care what the script is. Aquaman's a hard sell.
It's a hard sell, and it's also a how do I say this? Like, we've seen, like, if you really think about it, we've seen one take in movies. And it
wasn't even like,
it wasn't a bad take. It was a random take.
Yes. Because, like, when you think back to that original first image of Jason Momoa, that first promotional image of him in the armor with the tattoos, and I remember seeing that image and going, oh, we're getting Grant Morrison New World Order heavy metal Aquaman. And that was not what we got.
Yeah. What did Honest Trailer call him? Aquaman, King of the Broshen.
Yes. Was it? And bad? It was no. It was because it's Jason Momoa. You know, it's charisma oozing off the screen.
Yes.
But it was just I don't know. It was like they were leaning into the Aquaman weirdness of it all, and then they'd pull back all of a sudden, and it was like lean in or don't. It was like they couldn't make up their mind.
I'm gonna go just bring Alan Richards back as Aquaman. Screw it. Let's just don't let him be Batman. Stop with him being Batman. Let him be Aquaman.
Just let him be Aquaman. Look, I know Grant Gustin and Tom Cavanaugh were at one of the conventions recently at a panel, and they were like, if James Gunn asked you to be in the DCU, who'd you want to be? And they both said immediately Flash and Reverse Flash. And I think, you know what? I don't think anybody would be mad about that one bit. I don't think anybody would be all that mad. It ain't got to be the same universe. It ain't got to be the same Flash and Reverse Flash.
No.
But Grant Gustin as the Flash was good. That was good. That was very good.
Yeah. See, and I think this is the time, if he wants to, again, if he's worried about the Flash thing, make it Wally West this time.
We've both said that numerous
Make it Wally West. Make it a super young Wally, or make it a mid-20s Wally West with actual red hair this time. And
this is a lived-in DCU.
Barry Allen could be dead.
Barry Allen could be dead. Hell, you could jump the fence big time and have us be post Terminal Velocity.
Yeah.
And have your Flash be Jesse or Impulse or
Impulse needs to have his own cartoon.
I know he does.
That's so much.
Impulse needs an animated dude. If they're seriously moving forward with this Booster Gold thing, and he's time traveling, you've got to have an episode where he runs into Impulse, because Impulse is time traveling. I'm just saying.
That's true.
Hire me, James Gunn.
Yeah. Let us just be in the room. We'll throw out stuff. We don't have to give us credit.
I will say, somebody did ask him on Threads recently if there was any chance of DCU tie-in comics, to which he politely said no. No, he actually said, and I don't have, but he's like, they have a guy who like his sole job is being Charlie Day with the yarn on the board and just making sure he's the canon boy. His job is to make sure the canon is adhered to. And he's like, I don't think there is enough brain cells in his head to try and wrap comics.
No, don't do that. I know that they're doing that with Star Wars. I just don't. Don't do it. Just
yeah. Because it's anyway.
Cartoons, live action shows, and movies is enough.
Yeah, he says they're doing it with video games too. And since I guess since video games are so like A, self-contained, but also B, you're not exactly churning those out, you know.
And we haven't seen one yet, so let's see if that even happens.
Well, that's because that's honestly a conversation for another episode, though. That's because Warner Brothers and DC's video games rights are as bad as spread out as Marvel's Spider-Man rights. Let's put it that way. I don't think we're going to see a Justice League for a while, Matt, but if we do, I think it's going to be very James Gunn.
It's hard to say without knowing more about what Man of Tomorrow is about.
Yeah.
But I think
I think if I had to put you on the spot right now, what just like give me what do you think Man of Tomorrow is about? Like, go now.
Man of Tomorrow?
Yeah.
James Gunn said a weird thing that Peacemaker is a prequel to Man of Tomorrow. So I'm wondering if this Lex is like the Lex from Crisis on Two Earths, the good Lex from a different universe that comes here, and they work together, and that's why they're working together and not villains.
I hadn't considered that. I hadn't considered that. You are a clever devil, sir. I hadn't considered that, but the fact that he has said time and time again, Peacemaker is setting up the rest of the DCU in ways people aren't ready for. So, yeah, that's.
I'm not saying that's it. I'm just saying I think that would be very interesting because he's opening that door already. And that would be very interesting to see, because what would piss Lex off more than the guy he hates working with the better version of himself who's willing to work with that guy? Our Lex would just be...
I love your sexy brain, Matthew. I really do. I really do. Guys, let us know down in the comments what you think of Matthew Hasso's sexy brain. And while you're down there, make sure you subscribe because it's on its way down there. Nailed it on the last one. Third time's the charm. Also, make sure you follow us on all the social medias. They're right there above Matt's head at DC Junction. Follow me on social media at Mr. Mike Shea.
And follow me across all social media at The Hasso Man.
That is going to do it for us here at DC Junction. We'll see you guys again on our Peacemaker reaction dropping this weekend or the next time there's something DC to talk about.
Bye-bye.